This is Marshawn Lynch. But on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the action this football season. With Prize Picks, it's good to be right. With millions of members and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, Prize Picks is the best place to put your takes to the test. The app is really simple to use and available in 40 plus states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you can cash in. With simple stats and fan-friendly policies, Prize Picks is the best place to make your picks. Most importantly, they don't play about your paper. All transactions on the apps are fast, safe, and secure.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code SPOTIFY to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code SPOTIFY to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Free and clear is not free and clear. Laundry detergent, in my opinion, is one of the biggest greenwashing products out there on the market.
You're listening to the Digest This podcast, and I'm your host, Bethany Cameron. If you struggle with skin issues like eczema, acne, rashes, or just looking to clean up your skincare routine and makeup line, this episode is a must. Rachel Newton joins me as we discuss common misconceptions about what's really in our skincare and makeup and how to decipher what's clean and what's just greenwashing. I even learned something new and was surprised to find out that the water wipes with just pure water and grapefruit extract are actually toxic. I know, but don't worry. Rachel has better alternatives for wiping your kid's bottom, clean diaper recommendations, what she uses to calm down an eczema flare-up, what to look for when browsing the makeup aisle, and how companies are paying the EWG to get verified, y'all. This episode empowers us to do better and brings light to what many women overlook when it comes to what we put on our face every single day. Imagine eating the same thing every single day. I'd bet you not only get bored of it, but you would probably develop nutrient deficiencies because of lack of variety. Well, then why are you feeding your furry friends the same thing day in and day out? I bet if your pup could talk, they would beg you for nutrient-rich, fresh food filled with vitamins, minerals, quality human-grade protein, and of course, variety packed with flavor. Well, that's exactly what my friends over at Ollie provide. Once we got our 2 pups this past spring, we almost immediately started feeding them Ollie, which offers fresh, human-grade food for your pup with a selection of flavors like beef and sweet potato, turkey blueberry, and our personal favorite, lamb cranberry. Dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Head to ollie.com/digest. Tell them all about your dog and use code DIGEST to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/digest and enter code DIGEST to get 60% off your first box. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is buying air fryers, and for good reason. They're faster than an oven, and you can use little to no oil and still achieve the crispiness on your fries and food without the grease. But sadly, most air fryers on the market are full of forever chemicals like PFAS, PFOAs, lead, or even cadmium. But our place is different. Their Wonder Oven not only air fries, but toasts, bakes, broils, and roasts. That's right, you can roast an entire chicken and even bake cookies in it. It preheats 75% faster and cooks up to 30% faster than traditional ovens, so you can whip up dinner in no time. I have their original Wonder Oven in the color Spice, but they have other colors, and they even came out with a larger Wonder Oven if you have a larger family and want to cook up more food. I don't even own a toaster. We just use this to toast our bread to perfection. So if you're buying quality food and ingredients like grass-fed meat and organic produce, but still cooking with pots and pans containing forever chemicals, then all your efforts to eat clean kind of just went out the window, because what you cook your quality food in can contaminate it if you're not using clean cookware, bakeware, and air fryers. Thankfully, our place has them all without the no-no materials. Go to our place today and use code DIGEST at checkout to receive 10% off site-wide. They have a 100-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free returns. So you can experience this game-changing cookware with zero risk. Go to FromOurPlace.com/digest and use code DIGEST. Rachel Newton, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we have been following each other on Instagram for a while now, and I really just gravitated towards your page. Can't remember how long ago, because you were just real. I like to bring on guests that obviously have that are reputable. And you are very well educated in the skincare and beauty industry. And I love what you share, because this is stuff that a lot of people, even people that quote are in the skincare, beauty, wellness category, I feel like they still don't know everything that you do. So I'm really excited to ask some interesting questions that could be controversial. So let's start off with the yes or no questions. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. Yes or no, is vegan skincare automatically non-toxic?
No.
Are there PFAS in our makeup?
Yes.
Are most skincare and makeups on the market fooling us to believe they are non-toxic?
Yes.
Can you reverse eczema forever?
No.
Okay, last question. Is eczema caused by what you eat or by what you put on your body?
Yes.
Or I know that was a not yes or no question.
D, all of the above.
All of the above. Yeah, D. Okay. All right. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell my listeners who you are and what you do?
Yeah, well, first off, I also want to say thank you for having me on here. Yeah, we have been following each other for, I think, gosh, since before I gave birth to my first child. So over 5 years ago at this point. And I just, I've really gravitated towards you over the years and love everything you share, the sweet recipes, the savory recipes, and all the research that you do. So grateful to have someone like you really putting in the time and effort to educate all of us and help everyone just live a healthier lifestyle. And that's really what I do too. So my name is Rachel Newton. I am a corporate recruiter turned certified integrative health coach. And I am also a stay-at-home mom. I have 2 boys, 4.5 years old, and my little one just turned 1. Really my goal is to empower women and families to be able to have the confidence to make healthier choices for whether it's their personal care products, their household products, food, supplements, whatever it might be, just giving them a little bit more empowerment in a world that is really confusing and convoluted and all the things when it comes to living a cleaner lifestyle.
Rachel, I love that you use the word empowerment, because I feel like, at least for me, I get a lot of people telling me that I'm fear-mongering, which it's not. And you may have experienced this too, which it's not fear-mongering. It's educating people on and giving them empowerment on how to make the best decision. Like, I'm not telling someone, and you're not telling someone, don't get this, it's going to like cause, cancer or whatever. But we're just stating the facts, like, hey, these are the ingredients, this is what the studies show, and then it's up to you if you want to buy it or not, or make a better choice. So I think being empowered and knowing more can really help one to make better decisions.
Yeah. And I think people deserve that. They deserve to know the facts and the truth. And it, like you said, it's up to them whether they want to take that and do something with it. But at the end of the day, people just deserve to be able to make informed choices. If it's a choice that goes against what I share, or what you share, what anyone else shares, that's their choice. But at least you have all the facts in front of you to be able to make that choice. And I never judge someone for the choices that they make. Everyone, we're all adults here. We can make our own decisions, but people deserve to have the facts and the truth, and it's up to them what they do with it.
Yeah, you're spot on. I think transparency is really lacking in today's industry, whether it's skincare, obviously food, wellness, even like medical care. I think we deserve transparency. And like you said, you're not judging someone because of their choices. I don't either. I think people think that I judge people because of their choices, but I mean, we can all agree to disagree and get along still. Like, I have literally family members, they do not make the best choices, but do I hound them for it? No, like, we still have Thanksgiving together. You know what I mean? It's not, a deal breaker.
And I've learned that, and that's true too. You can't hound someone about it. I've learned over the years in, really diving into this topic and living this lifestyle that you can't change someone that doesn't want to change or isn't ready to change. Everyone is on their own journey, their own timeline. They may not have experienced something that you or I experienced that triggered them to make those changes. So yeah, I mean, you're spot on with that as well.
Well, speaking of triggering to make changes, what triggered you to really look into skincare? Like, what's your story?
Yeah. So it's been almost 6 years now. I woke up one morning and I had this weird rash over my left eye. And I thought it was weird because it's kind of funny. I've always been touted as having really great skin, which is it's so crazy that I went down this rabbit hole in this path of life. But I woke up with this weird rash and it wouldn't go away, and it started spreading a little bit. So I went to a dermatologist. I had never worked with anyone outside of just, a general practitioner or doctor before. So I didn't know who else to go to. Went to a dermatologist and they said, it looks like you might have some atopic dermatitis. Here's a steroid cream. Went home, put the steroid cream on, and things just were not getting better. The rash and my skin started getting really dry and flaky. The rash started spreading. In fact, my eye kind of reacted to the steroid cream that they gave me. And no one was really giving me answers beyond that. And around that time, I had just started looking into naturopathic doctors. And full transparency, for any of your listeners that don't know, a lot of naturopathic doctors aren't covered by insurance right now. I hope that changes. So that was something that was preventing me from working with one. But I got to a point where I just needed some answers. And I knew that there was something else going on. I knew that it wasn't random, that these rashes were spreading. It went to my neck. I got a little bit on my legs, my wrist. It was crazy how quick it spread. Went to a naturopathic doctor and they ordered a bunch of blood tests that I would have never even thought to order. We were testing, the minerals, the vitamins in my body. What did my hormones look like? What was going on with my progesterone, my estrogen, my thyroid, all these things that I wouldn't think to test. And turns out, we tested my cortisol, and it turned out that I had some pretty severe vitamin deficiencies. my cortisol was through the roof, which made total sense. I was just coming off the heels of working in a very chaotic, stressful industry. And just everything my blood work was showing, even my hormones, I didn't realize I had low progesterone, all these things kind of, you link it together and boom, there's your answer. And then we started taking a look at my diet, which wasn't, I don't eat fast food. I don't drink soda. I felt like I was living a pretty clean lifestyle, but at the end of the day, when you really dial it in and look at what you're eating, I wasn't eating as clean as I could be. So we went on an elimination diet. So food was really the first thing that I dived into with my eczema diagnosis. And skincare was something that came about maybe 6 or 7 months later, because it took me a really long time to have the confidence to put something back on my skin without the fear of having a reaction, and find something that, I started going down that research rabbit hole with ingredients and find something that I felt was truly toxin free, but was also going to heal my skin. It's not just about, are there toxins or no toxins in it, but it's also, is this something that's going to nourish me and heal my skin at the same time?
With the diet changes that you made initially, did you see any improvement?
So this elimination diet I went on, I was supposed to be on it for just 6 weeks. Well, we're talking, 35 plus years of toxic buildup in the body, whatever those toxins might be. And so 6 weeks just didn't cut it. It took about a year until I really started healing. I did slowly start to see some changes, but there were moments throughout this year-long journey where it would get better, but then it would come back again, but it wouldn't come back as big as it did the first time. It was kind of slowly going away. But that's why I really had to dive into what was in the food I was eating, what was in all the skincare I was putting on, what are in my house. I really went down the rabbit hole with this one for a little over a year. It was a tough year. I also, my husband and I really wanted to try and have a baby, and we were told that this was not the right time because my body was just not in a position to, be going through pregnancy. So there was a lot going on that year.
Okay, so you said that you got tested for your hormones, and that you said those were out of whack. Did you do HRT, or did you heal or balance your hormones just with your diet?
I did not do HRT. It was diet and some really targeted supplements. I wish I could remember all the supplements that I took, but there were supplements that were targeted towards, the inflammation in my body that was triggering the skin reaction, and also supplements to help with my hormones, some of which I still take today to help with some hormonal imbalances.
Okay, what are they? Spill the tea.
Oh gosh, what do I take? Okay, I take, no, I'm not a doctor here. I'm just telling you what I take here, but I take a supplement called calcium D-glucarate. I take a supplement called Hormone Protect. It's got broccoli in it, which is really helpful for detoxification in the body. I now take Fatty 15, which I know you also take that supplement. I think taking something that, it's not an omega, but it's going to help with inflammation, skin health. I also, like so many here, struggle with anxiety. Fatty 15 is just a wonderful supplement. I take vitamin D, D3K2, and I take turmeric every single day now. And
so did you, I want to know though, when also, I want to point out, first of all, obviously you detoxed the chemicals in your home. And I think that sometimes can be the only factor when you're trying to get pregnant, because those can interfere with hormones. So I think obviously a lot that you did, of course, helped. I promise you guys, we're gonna get into skincare. I'm just being nosy, and I want to know like her diet and like supplement routine. So, okay, so you did the elimination diet, and then you said you started to incorporate skincare. And now, what made you, or what was that aha moment where you're like, oh my gosh, like we're being poisoned by our skincare and by our makeup? Like, what the heck?
Honestly, the aha moment didn't come to me until I found the skincare and makeup line that I use today, almost 6 years later, because they're so good at, one of the founders of the company is a former registered nurse, and they saw a gap in the market when it came to clean skincare and makeup. And that's what prompted them to create this line. And more importantly, they felt they had this duty to educate women on what is in our skincare. And so I really didn't start, I just knew I started to have an understanding of what I thought was triggering the eczema more, not necessarily what caused it, but what was triggering it more. And then I started to get more knowledgeable when I started using this new skincare company on really all the different ingredients in our skincare and makeup that are not only affecting, we're not only talking about allergens, right? Or skin sensitizing ingredients, but now we're getting into, oh my gosh, this ingredient could potentially have, carcinogens in it. And now we're really getting into the nitty gritty of what's in our skincare and makeup.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone's going to want to know, what was the skincare that you started to use and what do you use now?
Yeah. So I use Crunchy predominantly as my skincare line and makeup. And pretty much the only other, which I just found a couple years ago, I think, the only other brand that I use on my skin outside of Crunchy is Active Skin Repair Spray.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I think I just did a story on it like a week or two ago. It's amazing.
Yeah, because you burned you burned something, or you got a cut, or
well, I burned my arm, but that was with oil, and I put Manuka honey on that.
That's right.
But I sprayed it on my face because I was just getting like a hormonal breakout for whatever reason, and it really helped calm down the inflammation.
Yeah, it's an incredible product. And I've only had 2 eczema flare-ups now, one more recently in the last 6 years. And during that time, I also used a eczema cream from Earth Mama that's literally meant for babies. It's that gentle. But outside of that, it's just Crunchy and Active Skin Repair. I cannot live without that spray. It is my holy grail.
Okay. Guys, take note. And then, what was it? The eczema cream? One more time.
Earth Mama.
Earth Mama eczema cream. Okay. So you said, I saw this on your stories like maybe a month ago now. I can't remember. You did recently have an eczema breakout. So what do you think caused it? Because your lifestyle is so clean. And then how did you calm it down?
Yeah. And I think that's an important thing to note is people are very quick to assume, or maybe judge isn't the right word, but wonder, why are you going through health issues when you live such a clean lifestyle? It's not always about what we're putting in or on our bodies. People are living on the daily with so many stressors in their life and things that are, sometimes out of our control. I just had a baby just a year. I was going to say less than a year. I almost forgot that my son just turned 1 last week. But I just had a baby a year ago, and now we have 2 kids, and 2 kids under 5 years old. And there's a lot of stressors going on in my life right now with that, just kind of learning how to be a new mom again. I have a business that I'm building and running, and people that I have to support outside of my family, which my family always comes first at the end of the day. But there's been a lot going on over the last year, and I think stress has played a huge role. I think I forgot how to just take time for me. It's just been so go, go, go since I since I got pregnant with my second child. And then I also think on top of that with we tested my cortisol again and it was very high. So I think stress was a huge factor in this recent breakout. And right around the same time, I was dabbling with a new skincare line that had quite a few essential oils in it, which my first go around, I was using skincare that had a lot of essential oils in it. And I didn't really connect the dots this time around. I just thought, oh, my skin is doing great. It's been great for 5 years. This is a clean brand. So yeah, sure. Let's give it a try. They've got some new products that just came out, and some of which Crunchy doesn't make. So sure, let's try it. Well, about a month in, it can take some time for skin to react with cell turnover and all of that. About a month in is when my eczema started to break out. So I think the combination of the stress, my body probably still rebalancing from pregnancy hormones. The skincare I tried, it was the
perfect storm.
Yes, that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. And I love that you bring up that, people can judge you or wonder why you live such a clean lifestyle and then you still have these breakout moments, or because it's for me too. We're all human. Like I would be it would be ridiculous for me to say that, oh, I never get sick because I eat so clean. Of course I get sick. We're human. Like things come up, and yeah, everyone gets sick. If we didn't, that would be a little suspicious, know?
And at first I almost felt this imposter syndrome at first. Like here I am, educating and sharing on, don't use these products in the home, use these products, and this is better for you, and XYZ, et cetera, et cetera. And here I am, going through my own health issues. But you're absolutely right. You can live the cleanest lifestyle and everyone gets sick. That is just part of life. Everyone gets sick. It's what you do in those moments to help heal your body.
It's pretty evident that we live in an environment our biology was never designed for. EMFs, artificial light, seed oils, microplastics, endocrine disruptors, chronic stress, those are just to name a few. And these everyday modern assaults disrupt cellular signaling, negatively impacting our gut health and accelerating aging. ARMRA colostrum revives cellular signaling, bolstering our health from within to defend against everyday threats. Colostrum is nature's first whole food with 400 bioactive nutrients that work at the cellular level to reactivate your body's innate capacity to regenerate and thrive. So if you're ready to try what so many are already taking daily, we've worked out a special offer for my audience to receive 30% off your first subscription order. Just go to armra.com/digest or enter code digest to get 30% off your first subscription order. That's armra.com/digest. Hey guys, I want to give every one of you a gift, so listen up. Many of you know that I created my own digestive support protein powder designed to aid in gut health and specifically formulated for those with sensitive tummies. I created this back in 2018, and since then, it's helped thousands of you with digestive issues and given relief. All that positive feedback has encouraged me to expand the Bethany's Pantry line with 3 different flavors, a protein bake, and L-glutamine powder to help heal and seal the gut lining. So as a thank you for being a podcast listener, I want to give you $10 off anything from my digestive support line. You can use this $10 discount on any flavor of protein, protein bake, or digestive aids such as L-glutamine. The one-time code podcast10 will give you $10 off. Whether you're a regular consumer or have never tried but wanted to, anyone can use this code one time as a gift from me. Oh, and a little side note, because we source our pea protein from Europe, I can assure you it's not sprayed with glyphosate because it's actually illegal in Europe to spray pea crops with such chemicals. Europe's standards and regulations on growing crops are far superior than American standards, and that's why I am proud to use such a source for my clean, easy to digest, lectin-free protein powder. Go to bethanysPantry.com, which is our new website, and use the code podcast10 for $10 off anything. Again, bethanysPantry.com, and then go and use the podcast 10 code and you'll get $10 off. Yeah, for sure. And I think that, I still have stomach upsets. I think people think that I don't. Like, I get bloated, I get for whatever reason, and I could literally eat the same meal. And the first time I eat the meal, I'm fine. The second time I eat it and I get a gut upset, I'm bloated, and I'm in pain. And I'm like, what the heck? I didn't change anything. And it could be stress. It could be that I ate too fast. It could be that maybe the food was bad. You know what I mean? People don't know or whatever. It's just, it's life. And so I think that's a really good message, like a takeaway message, is that like we're all trying to do our best, but yeah, we can still be educating. And like, guess what? Who knows what happens, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to know now, because everyone wants to know, like, well, first of all, what do you think of the Kardashian makeup line?
I don't use it.
The laugh says a lot.
I don't use it. I personally will not recommend it. Your listeners can do with that what they want, but I will not recommend that line.
Okay. So what are some products that are marketed as non-toxic but are actually still full of toxic ingredients and hormone disruptors?
Are we talking like
I'm not talking about like Maybelline or like, I think that's like well known, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about like maybe some things that we think that are on the cleaner side, but they're really just fooling us.
So some brands.
Yeah. Like, okay. So I like Well People. Is that a good brand?
Well People is a good brand.
Okay.
And I actually, I personally have never used their products. I can't speak to the performance, but I think it's a great brand that is more affordable for many out there. And it's very accessible. I think it's sold at Target, right? And some other larger stores. I think they're a great brand as long as the performance works well.
Okay. I'm going to go down the list and list some. We're going to name names here. Okay. You're going to hate me for it, but I'm going to name names and you say like clean, not clean. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. Mineral Fusion.
Not clean.
Ooh.
Depends on the product.
Depends on the product. Okay. Bare Minerals.
Not clean.
Oh,
I'm already feeling the hate come through.
I know. No, I want to know why. Burt's Bees.
Not clean.
Yeah, they're owned by Clorox, by the way, you guys. All right. Dime Beauty.
Somewhat clean.
Somewhat clean. I used to use their stuff. Some
depends on the product.
Depends. Okay. Tula.
Not clean.
Not clean. Oh my gosh. I used to use them. I don't anymore, but I used to use their face wash. See, you're educating me. So Sakara.
Sakara. So, how do you spell that?
Sakara. Am I saying it right?
I actually don't know. If I feel like I would have to see the brand. It sounds familiar, but I'm going to say I'm not sure.
Not
I don't
sure.
want to say yes or no.
Honest answer. Ilia.
Depends on the product.
Okay. I like their mascara. I don't know if that's good or not.
The mascara is clean.
Okay, cool. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's KOSAS.
Kosas.
Kosas?
Depends on the product.
Okay. And last one, Mod Beauty.
Ooh, that's another one I have not looked at.
Okay. So there's obviously some options out there, you guys. Now, let's talk about greenwashing labeling.
My favorite topic.
Yeah. Like, what should we look for, right? Because we can go to the department store, look online, and it's like bamboo packaging and green leaves and like all that. So give us the dirt here.
Yeah. Greenwashing really fires me up because people just don't know, right? And, marketers for these brands are, they're very smart with how they market these brands and label them and the coloring on them. I fell victim to this before I started diving into this world. If something, especially when I just started, dealing with my eczema, I was literally looking for, just give me something that's going to make my skin feel better. You get to this point when you're in a really unhealthy state that you just want to feel better, and you'll kind of just do anything. And I didn't know what I didn't know. And, you're looking at, oh, this says dermatologist recommended. Okay, must be good. Doctor approved. Well, now I know, okay, like what doctor? Who are we talking about here?
Right. The dentist?
like Joe Schmo down the road who runs a clinic out of his home? Like, who are we talking about here? Natural, organic. These are, and look, there's some really great brands out there that also use these marketing terms, but they hold up to their claims. The problem is these brands that are using terms like natural, non-toxic, organic, sustainable, none of these are regulated. There's no governing body regulating these terms. Organic is a great example. It's not really regulated. You just have to have a certain percentage in the product for it to be called organic or natural. So unless you know kind of what to look for on an ingredient label, I understand why people would gravitate to these products and think that they're clean.
So wait a minute. So if it says organic, it's not fully organic because there's like a loophole?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be fully organic.
Is there, because for food, I know there's the organic certification, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there an organic certification for skincare?
Yes, you can have certified. In fact, Crunchy is certified organic. You can get organic certifications for skincare.
Okay, but it still doesn't mean it's clean.
No.
Because there could be, right. So, and I think that's super confusing, right? My favorite is the non-GMO or the cruelty-free claims where it's not tested on animals. I'm okay, well, I mean, great, but is it still clean? Yeah.
Thank you for not testing on animals. I appreciate that.
But yeah, and I also gluten-free claims. It's good to know if it's gluten-free because I know people are sensitive to that, but that still doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Fragrance-free is another one. And actually, if you were to ask me, I'll just ask myself this for you.
Go for it.
If you were to ask me, if I were just starting out, what is one ingredient that I would look for on a label and put the product down? If that ingredient were in it, it would be fragrance. Because most of it is you don't have to disclose the fragrance. It's kind of like seeing natural flavors on a food label, right? What is that? What is in the natural flavors? At least tell your consumers what's in it. So again, here we are again with being able to make an informed choice. Fragrance can have any combination of over 1,300 different ingredients, not all of which are, quote unquote toxic, but many of them are. Many of them are immunoneurotoxins, allergens. I mean, how many people have you talked to that said, when they walked into a room and there was a plug-in in there or a candle was lit and immediately they got a headache? That's the fragrance. It's another sort of, they're kind of a self-regulating industry in themselves. It's just not unless you're going to disclose to me what is in the fragrance, and then I have the ability to, if I want to, do my research and take a look and make sure those ingredients are fine, then I will not use it.
I love that you bring that up because it's true. And like fragrance is the quote natural flavors of the skincare industry because they don't have to disclose it. And I wish they did for both fragrance and natural flavors, because if they had to disclose the sub ingredients, I bet the ingredient list would be like
Crazy.
100, lists like down the line, and people would be a little bit more concerned, for lack of a better word. But also sometimes when you see like fragrance free, or like even in the laundry detergent where it says like free and clear, we both know it doesn't mean there's no like fragrance chemical, because I'll let you say what they do to the fragrance free.
Well, they can essentially they can use, I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the term is called like a masking fragrance. So it's an ingredient that, because there's not a fragrance in there, well, they still want to make a product that smells good, right? Because people gravitate to smell, especially with laundry detergent. I think there's something very nostalgic about the smell of laundry detergent. So they'll put other ingredients in there to mask the scent of, the ingredients that are in the laundry detergent. So yes, it's fragrance free, but there's still these masking fragrances in there. So you still get this nice smell, essentially.
Yeah. So to my understanding, I did a podcast with Branch Basics one time, and I was doing some research, and because it says fragrance free, like my mom, I think she still uses it, but that's another topic for another time. But people, they buy the quote free and clear. So there's quote no fragrance or no smell to it, but it actually has more chemicals than the detergent with fragrance, because they're adding things to mask the chemicals, like the cleaning chemicals. So they're adding stuff to mask that still. So it doesn't mean it's like fragrance free necessarily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is so ridiculous. So it's again, you're misleading the consumer.
Yeah.
So
free and clear is not free and clear of anything. there's a number of ingredients in laundry detergent that are just, laundry detergent, in my opinion, is one of the biggest greenwashing products out there on the market.
Well, and you have to think it's touching your sheets, your underwear that you put in. Obviously, it's a sensitive area. So it's touching everything that you wash. Yeah.
Women that come to me with, I've had moms come to me telling me, what do you use for your baby if they get, an eczema rash? And, thank God I have not personally had to go through that with my children. But for those that do, the first product I ask them what they're using is laundry detergent, because there are very blatant ingredients in laundry detergent that are skin sensitizing, allergens. I mean, that's just some of it, right? They cause other, long-term issues. But laundry detergent is, it's hard to find a clean laundry detergent.
Well, let's talk about the chemicals we should be on the lookout for when reading skincare labels, right? I think a lot of people are aware of PFAS, right? But that's just like one of so many that we're unsure of. Because when I'm reading a skincare ingredient label, I'm like, I can't even pronounce some of the things. And I'm like, what is this? Yeah. So what should we look for?
Well, and that's a good point that you bring up. This might be an unpopular opinion. I'm okay with that. But the whole adage that if you can't read the ingredient, then it's automatically bad for you, that just does not ring true. There are a lot of ingredients that even I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know exactly what it is, but there are a lot of ingredients that you can't read or pronounce that are safe and fine. Yes, less is more, or less ingredients is better, but sometimes less ingredients is not better. Water wipes is a really good example. It's just water and grapefruit seed extract. Grapefruit seed extract is, anytime you have water in a product, you need a preservative to prevent the growth of mold and bacteria. The problem with grapefruit seed extract is not the grapefruit seed extract itself. It's the preservatives that are in this is going to sound a little confusing maybe, but it's the preservatives that are in the grapefruit seed extract that are the problem. There's parabens in there, benzalkonium chloride. These can be endocrine disruptors. So sometimes, sure, yeah, there's 2 ingredients on the product, but that also does not mean that it's better for you.
Oh my gosh. So water wipes. So what do you use any, like, what would you recommend?
We do use wipes. I don't use them all the time. I don't use wipes every time I change my baby's diaper. But when we do use wipes, I use a brand called Kudos, which I absolutely love. We use their diapers. We use their wipes. They're the only diaper actually that I'm aware of that is 100% cotton on like touching the baby.
Okay. I'm writing this down because I need to be switching up, because I thought, of course, because I'm not like in the skincare line. Like I look at ingredients and look at things, but food is like my forte. So I think I don't know if I had the water wipes, but I was like, oh, it's water and like lemon extract or something. It was like super clean. But I'm going to look up Kudos because I think I may switch, because even though I don't have kids, like we use them for like in the car, like we just keep them around,
Yeah. In fact, I was just talking to someone the other day that once my kids have grown out of wipes, I'm still going to buy wipes because they're just convenient to have around.
Okay. So we're talking about less is more. So what are some things that like are red flags?
Well, we talked about fragrance. I think fragrance is a big red flag, especially if it's not being disclosed on the label. This one is somewhat of a controversial ingredient, but because I have struggled with eczema and I have sensitive skin, I think at the very least, if you struggle with sensitive skin, phenoxyethanol is a preservative that's used in a lot of cleaners, makeup, skincare, a lot of household products. And that also goes through a process when it's being, manufactured into the product. It goes through this process called ethoxylation. And the problem with this process is that sometimes it can potentially leave carcinogenic residue behind in the final product. 1,4-dioxane is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It's not an ingredient, so you're not going to see it on a label, which is another vote of contention for me. But 1,4-dioxane is a known human carcinogen. Let's just play the devil's advocate here and say, let's say they manufactured this product and okay, it's got phenoxyethanol in it or maybe another ethoxylated compound in it, but they tested it and there's no 1,4-dioxane in it. For me, my whole thing is there is always a better, safer option. So why do we even need to be using those ingredients? Why can't these brands, not just spend the money, but just take the time if they're really that concerned with our safety and our health, use a better ingredient instead of making people like, you shouldn't even have to question the ingredients. So when I see an ingredient like phenoxyethanol in a product, I just don't use it. I put it down. And then other ethoxylated compounds, which they typically, so polysorbate 20, 60, polysorbate 20, polysorbate 60, anything ending in ETH, sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS. That's very commonly used in laundry detergent. These are all used as like emulsifiers in products. PEGs. Have you ever seen PEG on a label? PEG.
Oh, yes, I have.
PEGs, those are ethoxylated compounds as well. These are really, really common ingredients in products used as emulsifiers, preservatives, you name it. But there's just better ingredients that can be used.
Yeah, I actually bought, it was like a lip color, and it was on like Amazon, and it seemed whatever, it seemed clean. And then I couldn't find the, oh no, here's what happened. I bought it. The ingredients seemed like pretty legit on Amazon. So obviously it arrived, and then on the packaging, there was like additional ingredients that they didn't disclose online. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, how is that? Because they just say so much, I guess, online for whatever reason. So I'm literally reading the package in my hand, and I had to throw it out.
Yeah.
I couldn't return it. But it was just amazing to me. And it was like, this is like, I think it was crazy, like red dye 40. I don't think it was red dye 40, but it was some sort of like dye. And I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah. And even if you go to some websites, they'll, at the very bottom in very small printing with an asterisk, it'll say things like ingredients subject to change. What?
Right. Okay, so
to change to a better ingredient, I would hope.
Right. Is EWG a really reputable source? Because I know that brands can pay the EWG to get verified.
Yeah, I don't think reputable is the right word. I think if you're someone that's just starting out, or maybe you want a quick scan of something just to get an idea of, is this better for me? Sure, it's a good tool to use, but you make a really good point that a lot of these brands pay to play. There's ingredients that I've seen listed on EWG that are actually ingredients I would be okay with. Some of them, there's a lot of controversial ingredients out there. I think it just depends on what side of the road you sit on with it. But also it comes with just having all the information at hand. Titanium dioxide, sodium benzoate, those are really controversial ingredients, but I use those in certain situations, but there are some people out there that will say, no, completely stay away from it. I don't remember what their score is on EWG, but I would bet it's not the best score. But EWG doesn't have all the information at hand. They don't know, how a company is manufacturing a product or what ingredients potentially interact with other ingredients. So it's a good beginner tool in my opinion.
Yeah, and I was looking into it myself, and because I was like, oh, let's just like pretend I have a skincare line, because sometimes I'll do that with like brands and companies, or not brands, but like organizations. And so I pretended to be a skincare company, and you actually do have to pay the EWG to get verified. Like every verification that EWG gives out, that brand has paid them. It's not saying that the ingredients are actually bad. Like the ingredients are good, but let's just say the ingredients are good enough to get verified. You still have to pay them, right?
Yeah. I think the EWG verified label on a product is really also another greenwashing label.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I don't think a lot of people realize, but to get the non-GMO project certification, or even to get the organic certification, you have to pay those organizations to get certified, regardless if you are 100% organic, doing right by us, and like going the extra mile to have clean ingredients, organic, all that.
Yeah.
You could be 1,000% organic, but maybe you're a small brand and you don't have the money to pay for that certification.
Yeah, because it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
I think about that even with the food that we eat. You know, when my husband and I go to the farmer's market here every weekend, I love all of the vendors and the ranchers that are there. And for some of them, we do have to ask if they're organic because they're just not large enough or don't have the money to pay for the organic certification. But they're able to tell us, you know, we adhere to organic practices, but we don't have the certification.
Yeah. And I think I would prefer that because it's just, they're just being upfront and forward. So is there a website or app that you trust to look up skincare and makeup?
I mean, I know,
because I found Credo Beauty. Have you heard of that?
Credo. I've heard of them. They're okay. I know a lot of people are on the Yuka app right now. But I will never say that an app is 100% credible. At the end of the day, we have to be the ones to know what to look for. I think apps are, I think these ingredient label reading apps are great tools, but like I mentioned at the beginning here, my job is really to empower people at the end of the day to have the confidence to read a label themselves and look for.
What are some tools that people can take away when looking for a clean skincare? Like, would you tell them like, hey, go email the company? Like where can one start if they're like, I need to clean up my skincare?
Yeah. Gosh, that's a good question. Because there really are so many different places you could start. And I think because this is such a huge topic, a confusing topic, it can be really confusing and overwhelming for people. I really just say start with one ingredient that you know is not good for you. That's why, I mentioned fragrance earlier. Like get one ingredient out at a time. There was actually a study done, I think it was back in 2000, oh my gosh, was this 2014 or 2016? I posted about it a really long time ago. I don't remember the year, but it was done on a group of Latina teenagers. The study was done out of UC Berkeley. And what they did was they took urine samples from these girls prior, and then over a period of 3 days, they had these girls remove certain toxins from their usage. And after 3 days, they retook their urine samples and found that certain toxins in their body decreased. So that's when I always go back to, if you can even just remove one toxic ingredient at a time, because yes, this is super overwhelming. I get it. I'm still overwhelmed sometimes when I look at labels. I don't know every single ingredient out there. There's millions. But if you can just remove one ingredient, you are moving in the right direction.
I think too, maybe an elimination diet for skincare, like an elimination skincare, like remove everything and then see how you feel. And then like put one thing back, like it could even be the same skincare or makeup that you previously were using, but then see if it makes a difference in like, do you start to break out? Do you start to get headaches? All of that, because then that could be an indicator too. Because I think a lot of people, even like with food, if they remove like, I'm going to just use stevia as an example. If they remove stevia from their diet for like a week and then they have it again, they're like, whoa, like I didn't realize I was eating stevia every day because it tastes like crazy sweet or it's giving me headaches that I didn't realize before,
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. And obviously, bring back ingredients into the mix that we know are, even the best ingredients somebody can have a reaction to, right? And even like that ingredient I mentioned earlier, phenoxyethanol, not everyone is going to have a reaction to it. So sure, remove it for a week, 2 weeks, and then introduce a product back into your routine that has it in it and see what happens. I love that idea.
Okay. Yeah. And then where can people find you, Rachel, if they want to check out your page? And I'm sure you have like product recommendations on your website and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So my current followers know me as Holistic Mrs. on Instagram. And I also have a website. They can go to theholisticmrs.com. And that's where you can find links to all of the current brands that I'm associated with that I highly recommend. I have a store on that website that people can, it's kind of like a one-stop shop of toxin-free products people can purchase. And
do you have the Crunchy and the Kudos and all that listed there?
I believe I have Kudos listed on there. I do have Crunchy listed on there. Branch Basics is on there. Force of Nature, all the brands. Well, almost all the brands. I probably should go update a few things, but almost all the brands I'm affiliated with that I truly, truly love and use. I really try not to recommend a product that I've never used before. I think that's really important.
What if someone, I know we're like about to close, but one more thing. What if someone is going through an eczema flare-up right now? What would you suggest to them?
I would suggest, one, remove all your skincare that you're using and just keep it simple. I would get your hands on that active skin repair spray and start using it probably 3 to 5 times a day on the problem areas. I would also remove gluten and dairy from your diet and start introducing some really good healthy fats and healthy proteins into the diet, and just keep it clean. It took a good month for this second eczema flare-up to go down. And I just didn't use any of my skincare during that time. And I really let my skin breathe, and just used the active skin repair spray, the Earth Mama eczema cream, and stress. You guys, I know this is such a hard one because it's a hard one to control, but if you can, really try to take a look at what your current lifestyle is and what could be triggering more stress than normal. Because some stress is fine. Like, that's just natural. It's part of our makeup. But is there something going on in your life that is more triggering than normal? And try to find ways to remove that from your life and just try to relax. Which is a tough ask, I know.
I know. It's easier said than done. But thank you so much, Rachel, for coming on and sharing your story and the knowledge that you have, and all the recommendations that you've shared. So I'm definitely going to be checking out your store, and I hope you guys do as well.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Digest This. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review in your podcast app to let us know. If you're ever wondering how you can support me and this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family is the best way. This is a Wellness Loud production produced by Drake Peterson and edited by Mike Fry. To check out more shows by my team, go to wellnessloud.com, and to email the show, message us at digestthispod@gmail.com. See you next time. The content of this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for individual medical and mental health advice and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. As always, talk to your doctor or health team first.
Are you looking to reclaim your health? Tune into the Real Foodology podcast, hosted by me, Courtney Swan, integrative nutritionist and real food activist. I am on a mission to transform our food system by challenging the corrupt practices that undermine our health and replace them with choices that genuinely support our well-being. Listen to Real Foodology podcast on your favorite podcast app. New episodes every Tuesday.